Hello and welcome to the Retail Journey. Today we're going to be talking about Walmart and Sam's Club, getting in a bit to the Q1 earnings, to 2023, and what the retail journey is going to look like this year. We would expect some twists and turns, some bumps and potholes along that retail journey road, and we're glad you don't have to travel it alone.
That's right. You got to have somebody there to help you change your tires.
That's what we're here to do.
And I'm James Harris and Charles Greathouse. We are your guests today, and we're talking about how to win with Walmart in 2023. Let's kick it off with Walmart's recent Q1 earnings release.
Let's dig into it. You know we like data, so
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about a little bit of data. You may have read it, but let's get into it.
Let's do it. Comp store sales up 7.4%. Saw a lot of strength in grocery, health and wellness, and then that was somewhat offset by softness in general merchandise. So pretty consistent with 2022. But the positive results enabled Walmart to raise their outlook for the rest of the year.
Super exciting to
really
see some
positive.
raised outlook. Think about general merchandise and the inventory conversations on Q3 and Q4 earnings. It's feels like that would follow that trend of like, all right, we're trying to cut inventory across GM and seeing some softness on the top line.
Well, and speaking of inventory across the U.S. was down 9.4%. I have a feeling a few suppliers probably felt that 9.4.
Yeah, you're going to feel that almost 10% down, but also a great sign of good stewardship of inventory and making sure those stores are operating the way they need to.
Yeah, and you don't need more than you need. That now on a positive that they raised outlooks. A little bit negative is as we've moved into Q2, growth is moderated, right? So, are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? We're certainly in a high inflationary time period. So, looks like they're expecting Q3 maybe or 2 through perhaps 4 are going to be lower growth than we saw in Q1. But
I mean, 7.4 is
really
enormous.
positive for the enormous
on a 350 billion base to hit a 7.4 is pretty incredible. You look at the 2-year stacks; it's even more impressive.
Another continuing trend is grocery market share gains with a special call out for higher income households.
Yeah.
So we saw that in 2008, 2009. We saw it in 2001. The last recessions and downturns that we saw, Walmart gained market share in grocery. Higher income shoppers shop there more frequently, making the dollar go further.
Why is that? Why do you see the high income coming to Walmart during the downturn? What are your thoughts?
Everybody has to make their money go as far as they need it to go.
Yep.
And high income is, classified as 100,000 plus. So we're not necessarily talking about the 1%. We're talking about, middle class, upper middle class that needs to make their budget work for them. And Walmart saves people money so they can live better.
There it is. I feel like it's a perfect segue to the 27% growth in e-com driven by pickup and delivery.
Yeah. That's a big one. There's still a perhaps an old mindset that e-com at Walmart is it's small. Okay, we'll do more with it when it gets bigger. But the way Walmart records their e-com numbers includes pickup and delivery, right? So that's something in our current and historic data scheme. We can't really see that differentiated.
DSS doesn't show it well,
right? It just looks like a brick and mortar sale. Where Walmart Luminate allows you to really break those out, and then you start getting an idea of, my e-com business could be quite a bit more substantial, particularly for food and consumables.
Yeah, and this is a big base. This isn't a small e-com business, and up 27% is astronomical.
Yeah,
and you think about the convenience of getting your stuff delivered, saving that time is a very powerful tool, and one that people once you start doing that, it's hard to go back.
Mm-hmm.
To walking around the store every time.
Yeah, and just anecdotally, one of the things you hear people say from time to time is, going to Walmart is going to be a long trip. Like I just need to get 6 things. Well, pick up and delivery now, you can get your 6 things and you don't have to go in.
Yep.
Right? You still want to go in when you're pantry loading, looking for something new.
Yep.
But when it's basically it's an opportunity instead of going to Kroger for your 6 things. You just drive into the parking lot and pick it up.
Yeah. Or with the rise of Airbnb, as you go on your vacation, you have the groceries meet you there, which is way easier than trying to pack it and track it all the way through.
I've done that.
And that 27% is just a very large number. To me, I'm super excited. We saw a little bit of softness last year on a
Q4
couple of
especially.
e-com numbers that were like, oh, that wasn't nearly as high. 27, very exciting to see. Amazon's Q1 came in at 11% for the North American unit. Pretty exciting to see, well north of double.
Yeah.
From a percentage standpoint, certainly their base is bigger e-com, but very powerful to see and encouraging. I think it shows the focus of an e-com first, digital first mindset across the teams at Walmart Merchandising.
Yeah, Tasha Tandy mentioned that on our last podcast. Digital first. The store will take care of itself. Decent packaging, make it easy to ship, easy to shop, easy to pick, but digital first.
Yeah, I love that.
Get that game going. One thing we saw a lot in the earnings, the results were private brand.
Yeah.
A lot of strength in food categories, private brands, along with higher average ticket and more store transactions. So more trips, more stuff being bought, indicative of people trying to save money at Walmart.
Yeah.
Make their dollar go faster.
Well, that inflation hits, then private brand takes off. They reported up 110 basis points. That is
brand penetration.
A significant change in private brand penetration.
And driving that was food inflation up mid-20s in a 2-year stack. So it's costing more everywhere. And if Walmart is less expensive than everywhere else, or most everywhere else, really good formula for market share gains.
Yeah, people are looking for it. What's it mean for you? How do you approach with private brand penetration growing? I think the value equation for your brands and products matters a lot. How are you showing up for someone if you are a need to have? Being in a position to win new customers that are coming into the box changes your potential for growth, both near term and long term. If you're a like to have, a splurge, if you will. I remember being in personal care. I guess it'd be beauty now, but hair care. You could treat yourself with a $5 bottle of shampoo instead of a $3 bottle of shampoo and conditioner, and that changes. It's an easy and affordable luxury. Instead of taking an expensive trip, you might stay home and do something to pamper yourself. Saw that pop a lot during the last recession.
Right. And COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of focus on personal care, and personal care are one of the brands that has a lot of strength. Consumables was led by pet. Personal care due partly to inflation, but also additional purchases.
Love that. I mean, take care of your pets. Spend some time in that pet department, and tell you what, people will feed their cats better than themselves. We saw data.
They are not going to suffer.
I saw data that indicated customers would continue to buy the more expensive treat for their feline, and stop paying for their own pharmaceuticals.
Wow.
Because they just care so much about being able to provide. Gives you that feeling of providing, and it's 70 cents a can for Fancy Feast as opposed to 50 something for the one that's cheaper, and so it's marginal, but it adds up.
Yeah.
So interesting to see it.
Back on private label. So if you're already a private label supplier, anticipate producing and selling more right in the future. If you're not a private label supplier, we're talking about how to win this year, 2023. That book is probably cooked if you're not already, selling a private label product. But you
can't get into the private brand business.
Yeah.
On a whim.
Right.
Those lead times are long.
But you could be planting the seeds for 2024. Totally. And what we saw, at least in the last recession, a lot of people moved over to private label, make their money go further. As the economy improved, you did see some shifting back to brand, but a lot of people stay with the private brands because it tasted just as good, or it worked just as good.
Yeah. Walmart's been building out those teams quite a bit. The private brand folks, they've brought in some really good talent. They've grown some really good talent from merchandising into private brand and across the box. So I wouldn't be surprised if the quality continues to improve and the stickiness, if you would. Customers try it, they're going to come back and keep buying it because it is very good.
Yeah.
Also seeing a lot of it move towards the organic better for you, which I think is well timed because you've got a customer base that's wanting something far better for you, which usually comes at a premium price. The private brand version of that might be about neutral to the not better for you brands. I'd expect that trend to continue.
Yeah. And there's a lot of categories that don't have private label, and there's certainly a lot of companies that aren't equipped to produce private label. There's still an opportunity to meet the market where it's at. So value equation is something we talk about a lot in retail. So it's the price versus what you get for it. Yeah. And in periods like this where money needs to work a little harder for you, we start seeing a different dynamic of, okay, how much can I get can I get more for this amount of money I'm spending? Where now we're starting to see more of, okay, I've only got this amount of money to spend, right? So we're seeing some pack size shift down, lower opening price point. Right?
Yeah.
So opening price point versus value equation gets a little more tricky in recessionary periods.
Yeah, because you have opening price point as the absolute lowest price to get into a category or a solution to a problem, and having that winning that opening price point oftentimes leads to the decision where a customer is going to go shop.
Right.
And that's one I've been a part of fiercely defending on the Walmart side and would expect them to continue to.
Yeah. I mean, a great example of that is you could buy 250 golf tees for, call it $15, right? And that's a tremendous value.
Yeah.
But if you've got $10 to spend, you're out of the market, right? Yep. You might need 50 for that period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. All right. So on some of the softness, general merchandise sales reflected softness in discretionary categories, home, electronics, apparel. That was pretty much 3, if not 4 quarters of last year. Probably is going to continue to be the case through this year. But are there still ways to win in those categories?
Yeah. I mean, I think as people tighten the belt on discretion, the smaller treat yourself moments still matter, but you have to be affordable.
Right.
There isn't just I have more to spend, so I want to spend more. So find the ways to really treat yourself and do so in a small and affordable way. I think innovation always stands well in the face of recession. When you have things that are new and exciting, they're still new and exciting.
Right.
There might be quite a bit more to get up off the couch to motivate someone off the couch to come in looking for something in GM. But that get off the couch value is something that I think if you pay attention to and collaborate well with your merchants, there's a lot of ways to bring excitement. And general merchandise is a space that Walmart really wants to grow. And they're, laying out in Q1 results that's an area of some softness.
Right. You still have the dynamic of because of my budget, because of whatever, I'm not going to get this, but I want to get that.
Yeah.
So maybe furniture sales go down, but a throw to liven up the furniture you're keeping, right? There's still incremental sales opportunities as the market shifts.
And the macro well beyond Walmart of we were all home for a couple of years. We spent a lot of time staring at our furniture.
We use that stuff a lot more than we used to.
Changing it up. And now we're all out and about and sitting on furniture in other places than our home. So I think there are some categories that are just not going to return to a certain level and others that will continue to expand.
Absolutely. Shift off to Sam's Club?
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk a bit about Walmart and how to win in the context of everything we just laid out. Yeah. I think the customer at the center is going to continue to happen. You're going to see it more and more from a data perspective. Certainly with Walmart Illuminate, many other data sources looking at market share is going to be a thing that we're going to continue to see merchants and the team caring about. But at the center of all of it is the customer. And what motivates Walmart's mission is to help people save money and live better. As a merchant, that was the thing that motivated me the most, finding ways to help actually save money on things that matter a lot to customer, or find ways to absolutely delight them and help them live better. I think the needs are an area where if you can put Walmart in a position to absolutely win in the marketplace on price while having as good or better than quality, and making it available in all the ways that customers decide to shop, you're going to be in a great position, because there are a lot of customers coming to Walmart looking to save, and that's a promise that Walmart cares deeply about winning.
It's only about 300 million in the U.S.
It isn't. It is so many, and that journey starts digitally. And so I think a second thing is your content and how you, when the dollars don't go as far, the decisions get scrutinized. So there's going to be more research.
Right.
And if you're not showing up well online, if you don't have a lot of money to spend, you don't go around perusing for things to spend your money on.
Right.
You do that when you got cash burning in your pocket, or when you showed up to a store hungry. Then you're just going to buy anything that looks good, and it all looks good when you're hungry. But when you're low on cash, you're going to plan the purchases a bit more, whether it's gifts or needs or things for like the coveted vacation that's going to be taken, which is probably less than there were in the past. So showing up really well online with both your content and how you approach winning search, Walmart Connect plans are going to matter a lot when you enter into a recessionary year, which every indication is that 2023 would likely be that direction. Has not tipped over that edge yet, but seems to be coming.
Yeah. And just one last thing on market share, increased traffic. Pretty much every shopper is buying less things with the same amount of money that they were buying more things with previously. So we're really looking at more shoppers, new shoppers, hence the higher income.
As a way to grow.
You
need to get customers in. I think that's where the third piece for me would be collaboration with your merchandising teams of, all right, hey, how can we deliver on this promise together? I'm not saying you just go and pass over, hey, here's how we're gonna win this together. You have to come in with problems that aren't quite solved and figure out, all right, we're going to have these situations. We need people, when they're looking at their checkbook, deciding to come to Walmart instead of another retailer to make that dollar go as far as possible. And I think that there are a lot of ways that can come to life across the box.
Right.
So that's where I'd go. When you look at these headlines, I mean, incredible sales, incredible e-com growth, massive private brand penetration, growth across several areas in food and consumables and health and wellness, offset by some softness in gross merchandise or general merchandise. I think the inventory being down 9%, food and consumables is turning and burning all the time. I have to imagine that came from GM. And now that they've perhaps right-sized the ship, there's some, all right, how do we place bets accordingly? Because Walmart grew up on taking risks and taking them in a way that delights the customer. How can they bring inflation busting value to life? And I think the inflationary pressure will continue, as you've seen, huge programs like the Thanksgiving meal for the same price as last year.
Exactly. Easter as well.
In the past, nobody's touting the fact that the price is the same unless there's inflation, and so there's felt inflation across the box, and so finding ways to fight it. And to tell that story and equip your partners on the Walmart side with telling the story with your brands and items and solutions, I think will go a long way.
We also saw a couple of categories that performed well: automotive and seasonal. And seasonal, I think, is really encouraging because that's the lower ticket but trip driving occasion that we've been talking about.
Get off the couch value.
Yeah.
And treat yourself to, I'm going to decorate the house a bit for this season and show up in a way that's really meaningful. So there's never an eye off of innovation from a merchant mindset perspective, but I would expect that innovation to be in the direction of really hitting home, saving money, and living better.
Yeah, all good innovations informed by the shopper. So where the shopper's at now is watching their budget.
And we've got some signals here in Q1. We'd expect them to evolve in Q2 3 and 4. But as you think about the year ahead, there's a lot of folks that have mid-year fiscals on the supplier side. And you think about that July forward, winning the holiday season, winning back to school. I think some strong programmatic partnership with Walmart could drive significant traffic to Walmart. And if you're in the right place in that kind of partnership, significant growth for you on a platform that has proven time and time again to thrive throughout a recession.
Right.
It's awesome. Take it to the club.
Club time. All right. Saw some, actually see quite a bit of similarities between Walmart and Sam's performance, starting with net sales without fuel growth, 7.4%.
7.4. That sounds like a familiar number.
That's right. E-com up 19, led by curbside, kind of the club version of pickup or delivery. Member income up 6.3%. Same categories generally led food and consumables. We're also seeing more trips and higher tickets, as well as overall unit growth. And then scan and go, which is kind of just a very efficient way to check out. Very popular component of something Sam's put together and really beat a couple of years off of the plan to get scan and go really up and running in all clubs. Increase more than 600 basis points year over year.
It is so impressive to see these line items called out, led by curbside, scan and go. The Sam's Club team is so good at innovating in a rapid cycle. Being able to test something, see if it works, and then scale it across the club network is to me a tremendous sign of strength. It's something that makes me think that platform is going to continue to grow and continue to thrive.
Yeah. And we're still seeing the treasure hunt component of club, right?
Excitement matters always. I think that
excitement doesn't have to cost $50 either.
I think there's a couple ways to enter into opening price point, not the thing that Sam's Club's going to be battling to win. It's the value.
It's the value and the excitement.
And how you deliver that value. And so I think that the excitement that can be brought across the box at Sam's Club is going to keep showing up. Give people the get off the couch value. Make them excited about the things that they can find. I think that treating yourself at Sam's Club is going to show up. You're going to maybe skip a Pottery Barn trip.
Right.
And show up to the club and
still
see
get some great product, great looks, great style.
And I think it combined with the extra that you get. So you've got excitement, you got to bring extra.
Yeah.
Anytime you're going to be in a position to be a staple or a significant partner with Sam's Club, there has to be a feeling of that member got extra by shopping with you right now. And in an inflationary time period, that is a massive challenge. And so if you're not planning ahead and figuring out how to deliver extra, because when the price goes up, it just feels like you paid that 20% more. Doesn't feel like 20% more. It feels like I paid 20% more.
What am I getting for this?
And so you have a pretty significant hill to climb, depending on the category. And if you've got elements of your product costs that haven't changed, then use it. I mean, it's time to show up in a way that shows the extra savings.
So I think we'd be remiss talking about Sam's Club, at least for our local listeners here, that there's a competitor coming into the area.
How about it? Costco's been in the competitive space with the club for a long time, but yes, Northwest Arkansas, it looks like we're getting a Costco around Lowell. Although the first couple of headlines I saw was the Lowell mayor, so it's like maybe is this wishful thinking? Are you leading the edge here? Or I've seen a couple of corroborating stories. It looks like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think
competition's great.
Yeah, I think Walmart's always looked at competition with an eye to admire. I can remember walking stores with long-term Walmart executive Paul Beam, senior. I guess not senior, but Paul Beam. And he led in health and wellness. If you know him, if you're listening, Paul, you're the man. Always appreciate your mentorship. We were walking around a store, and it's a competitor, and it was pretty easy to see some things that were just wrong. Like, oh man, this is dirty. oh, this display doesn't look great. And he's looking for the things that are working really well.
Right.
Because where competition's doing something awesome, maybe you can improve your awesome.
Absolutely.
You don't need to walk a competitor just to pat yourself on the back and be like, man, I am
Right.
great. I am so much better for having.
You don't learn from the wins.
No. And so I think you look at where are they potentially beating you, or maybe they're just doing something different. That's like, oh, it's a different way of thinking about it. And so I love a Costco being here for the Walmart merchants, because frankly, Walmart and Costco compete just as much, if not more often, than Sam's Club and Costco. Given the club footprint, which is the other exciting thing, they announced 30 new clubs coming this year.
That's right.
That's a significant,
after a lot of closures,
contribution of growth on the actual club count. So, yes, Costco has a new club coming to Northwest Arkansas, and Sam's Club has 30 coming across the country. And I believe it was a year-long estimate of like, this is when these will be opened. Each one of those boxes does a tremendous amount. So there is going to be some baked-in organic growth with club expansion, and certainly a desire to drive significant excitement to drive membership as those new clubs open up.
Right.
So I think hitting that excitement button, making it extra every time. And the third for me on the Sam's Club is, their savings made simple. That's what they do. And so finding ways to just make it really easy, like hit solutions home, hit every one of the new innovative pathways to selling to the member. Love the scan and go, love curbside. Their e-commerce presence continues to grow. Their marketing platform, I think it's MAP, is how a lot of ways that they're approaching it. Huge growth. A tremendous amount of ways to activate a very valuable member base coming as they keep deploying those different tools. So as a supplier looking for ways to win at Sam's Club, I mean, you got to bring extra value to Sam's Club. They're also bringing extra shoppers.
Right.
Those members, Sam's Club doesn't have every solution of everything. They have the power of saying no.
A few great solutions. Yeah.
And making some choices for their members, and their members have learned to trust them on that side. And so if you can be a solution there, it's largely going to be incremental, which is very powerful heading into a recession.
Well, and one of the tools that you have at Sam's Club is, yes, there's planogrammed or modularized goods inventory, kind of the stuff that's going to be there day in, day out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rotations too.
The treasures.
That's a great way to get into Sam's Club. And because of the foot traffic and the velocity potential in a club environment, a couple of rotations a year could really be meaningful.
Yeah. Honestly, the test and learn mindset at Sam's Club is so powerful on the tech side, which is what got me there earlier on this, curbside and scan and go, but also just from a merchandising perspective. Walmart tends to test on the modular. It's really hard to do something outside of that.
Right.
Sam's Club, you have the power to test in a programmatic way. And members love walking in, finding things that you just wouldn't have expected.
Right. And there's on the member base, there's a large overlap of Walmart shoppers and Sam's Club members, but there's also a unique profile. You have a much higher average income basis at Sam's. You also have a really large percentage of small business owners that do a lot of their purchasing for their business at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
So some unique opportunities there to strengthen your overall Walmart Stores Inc. business by leveraging Sam's as well as Walmart.
Yeah. Really exciting quarter heading into what I believe will be a very exciting year. Love seeing the guidance improvement. Walmart's very conservative on their projections. And so the fact that they
7.4 is not conservative.
That is incredible. It is a beautiful thing. Seeing them raise the after a really strong quarter, saying, and there's growth that's going to continue to come.
Yeah.
Is a wonderful signal.
Yeah. After a lot of earnings results that did not have that trajectory.
Man, and the e-commerce strength alongside store is a massive win. Huge props to the team that's leading that charge. And you talk to merchants now, and there's no e-com or store merchants. They're all omni-channel merchants, and they're starting with e-com, and the results are showing 27%. Man, that's incredible. I love that. So a focused entry to the year, Walmart, big time growth. Keep the customer at the center of all your conversations. Keep the content coming. People are going to be researching.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be scrutinizing their purchase decisions. You have to have strong content across Walmart.com, and then bring collaboration to the conversation with you and your merchant, finding ways where you together can solve the problems that are going to be facing customers, so that you can together be in a position to win.
Yeah, and strategies have to change. The last 3 years, there've been a let's drink through the fire hose strategy, and now we're moving into an area that's more moderate in terms of what COVID kind of brought about. But now we're high inflation, potential recession. Your plans from last year probably aren't going to be the plans this year.
You got to keep learning.
Got to keep
steward this business together with your partners. At Walmart, I think you can have an incredible year. Sam's Club comes down, bring that excitement.
Yeah.
You have to make that member really, really glad to have that membership. Focusing on retaining and growing membership is going to be a focus.
Yeah. We're really on a 2 to 3 year run of Sam's Club growing at a faster pace than they grew in the 5 years previous.
Totally.
Doing a lot of things right.
The team is crushing. Making it easy for the member to find you, to find your product, and to see the value. And then lastly, the extra. You have to bring extra. If you're already in, find ways to bring more, so that even with the inflationary pressures, you're still seen as extra. And if you're not in, when you come to that proposal, you have to have something that's extra, both as they look at competing across all of retail as well as other club. I think it can be a banner year. It's just not going to be one that happens on accident.
Right.
So it's time to get planted, dig into the data, and find ways to win.
That's right.
Love it.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for joining us today at the Retail Journey podcast. We appreciate you listening in. Feel free to like and subscribe. Find out more about us at highimpactanalytics.com, and we'd love to hear from you. Join the conversation, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.